Breaking news! Something huge is brewing inside the Ravens locker room, and it's not coming from the players who've been lighting up the field. It's coming from someone we haven't seen since training camp. A single quote from this player has completely flipped the script on Baltimore's offensive outlook, and what it means for the next few weeks could reshape everything about the Ravens' 2025 season. But before we dive in, smash that like button if you're proud to rep the purple and black. And here's the real question. If you had to choose only one offensive player to return right now and take this team to the next level, who would it be? Drop their name in the comments. I want to see who you believe in. Now buckle up, because what just happened might be the beginning of something massive for this team. Isaiah Likely is officially on the comeback trail. It's been nearly 2 months since Isaiah Likely suffered a foot fracture during a routine play on the final snap of training camp back on July 29th. What looked like a harmless leap for the ball turned into an all-too-familiar nightmare for Ravens fans, one of their most dynamic offensive weapons being carted off the field. The diagnosis came in quickly, a fractured fifth metatarsal. Surgery followed just days later. The early prognosis was hopeful. Some believed there was a chance he could return by week 1. But week 1 came and went. Week 2 passed too. And now here we are, heading into week 3. And for the first time since that injury, we've heard directly from Isaiah Likely himself. At a recent interview held at Jimmy's Seafood, Likely kept his words short but electrifying. When asked about his return, he simply said, "Very soon." And that's not just a headline, it's a signal. A signal to defensive coordinators around the league that another problem is on the horizon. It's a message to Ravens fans that reinforcements are coming. And maybe, just maybe, it's the green light Lamar Jackson's offense has been waiting for to fully unlock its next level. Now, before we get carried away, let's not pretend the Ravens offense has struggled without him. 81 points in the first 2 games is a strong statement, but there's something deeper here. Something strategic. Isaiah Likely doesn't just provide stats. He brings space. He draws coverage. He shifts schemes. His presence on the field forces opposing defenses to make uncomfortable choices. Do you double Mark Andrews? Do you put a safety on Likely? Do you leave the middle of the field vulnerable to Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman? That's why this news matters so much. It's not just about getting another body on the field. It's about optimizing everyone else around him. And it's no coincidence that Mark Andrews has had a surprisingly quiet start to 2025. Through the first 2 games, Andrews has only been targeted 4 times. 2 receptions, 7 yards, 0 touchdowns. That's not a slump, that's a symptom. And the absence of Likely is a major part of the diagnosis. Andrews has only run 38 routes so far, which ranks 24th among all tight ends. Last season, tight ends accounted for over 31% of targets in this offense. In 2025, that number has dropped to a shocking 10.6%. You don't need a playbook to see what's happening here. Without Likely, Andrews is easier to contain. And when Andrews is blanketed, the tight end position as a whole becomes less effective. But once Isaiah is back, everything shifts. Now, take a moment and remember Isaiah Likely's breakout performance last year against the Kansas City Chiefs. 9 catches, 111 yards, and a touchdown that should have been 2 if not for a heartbreaking toe tap out of bounds. That wasn't a fluke. That was a coming out party. And with another massive showdown against the Chiefs just weeks away, the timing of his return couldn't be more critical. Even if he doesn't make it back from Monday night's matchup against the Lions, fans and coaches alike are circling that Kansas City game as the must-return date. But here's where things get even more intriguing. Both Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews are in contract years. Yes, you heard that right. 2 premier tight ends, playing for the same team, with the same expiration date on their current deals. That's not just unusual, that's unprecedented. And it raises a compelling question. Could this be the year that the torch is passed? Because let's face it, Andrews has been the face of the Ravens tight end room for years. A franchise legend, a go-to guy. But there's a sense growing in Baltimore, a whisper among fans, a ripple among analysts, that Isaiah Likely might be ready to step into that TE1 spotlight. Not because Andrews has declined, but because Likely's ceiling is just that high. And this season might be the first real test to see who takes the reins as the long-term cornerstone of the position. They combined for over 1,000 yards last season, 17 touchdowns, 10 explosive plays of 20-plus yards, nearly 100 receptions between them. When they're both on the field, they make each other better. Period. And with the gauntlet of opponents coming up for straight games against playoff teams, including Kansas City and others with 30 combined wins last year, Baltimore is going to need every inch of offensive offensive firepower it can muster. Let's keep this rolling. If you followed the Ravens over the years, you know this offense thrives on unpredictability. Lamar Jackson's versatility forces defenses to prepare for everything: zone reads, deep bombs, short strikes, scrambles, and now, possibly once again, tight end domination with Likely and Andrews on the field together. That dual tight end set isn't just a formation. It's a nightmare for linebackers and safeties. It's chess in a league full of checkers. So when Isaiah Likely says very soon, it's not just hopeful, it's tactical. You better believe Todd Monken already has a few packages drawn up specifically for when Isaiah returns. This isn't just about plugging a hole, it's about upgrading a system that's already operating near full efficiency. And let's be honest, if the Ravens are putting up 40+ points without him, imagine the kind of damage they'll do with him. But the ripple effect doesn't stop with the tight ends. It bleeds into the run game. It creates mismatches for the wide receivers. It forces defensive coordinators to commit extra personnel to the middle of the field, which opens up the sidelines and deep routes. And in turn, Lamar gets cleaner reads, faster decisions, and more room to improvise, his greatest weapon. That's what Isaiah Likely brings to this team. It's not just stats, it's strategy. And here's where things get even more compelling. You'd expect a team that's lighting up the scoreboard to get complacent, maybe even a little overconfident. But the way the Ravens are talking, the way they're preparing, the sense around the building is that they're not satisfied, not even close. There's a hunger here, a realization that 2-0 is nice, but not enough. They want domination. And with opponents like Detroit, Kansas City, and a brutal AFC North schedule looming, that hunger is about to be tested. It's easy to forget, too, that this isn't just a team fighting for wins. It's a team fighting for identity. Last year was about grit, about proving that Lamar could win without being flashy every week. This year, it's about firepower. And adding Isaiah Likely back into that equation isn't just another weapon, it's a shift in tone. It's a signal that this team is going all in. Now let's address the elephant in the room. What happens after 2025? Both Likely and Andrews are in contract years. Both have strong cases for long-term extensions. Both want to be TE1, and frankly, both deserve to be. But can the Ravens afford to keep them both? That's the looming question no one wants to touch, but it's one that's coming whether we like it or not. And that's what makes this season so critical. If Isaiah returns and outperforms Andrews, are we looking at a changing of the guard? Or do we see the Ravens pull off the rare tight end tandem extension, committing to both long-term as a foundation for the offense? That's the high-stakes game behind the scenes. And how they perform, especially together, over the next few weeks could define the future of this franchise. So when you hear Isaiah say very soon, remember, that's not just an update on his recovery, that's the start of the countdown. The countdown to what could be one of the most explosive tight end duos in the NFL returning to full strength. And with the AFC North wide open after Joe Burrow's injury and Pittsburgh still finding its identity, the window is wide open for Baltimore to seize control. That's why Monday night against the Lions matters so much. Even if Isaiah doesn't suit up, the momentum of his return is already affecting how this team prepares. And if he does play, don't be surprised if Lamar targets him early, because nothing shakes off rust like catching a seam route in front of a national audience under the lights of Monday Night Football. And maybe, just maybe, this time when he scores, he keeps both feet in bounds. If you're not excited yet, I don't know what will get you there, because the pieces are all falling into place. A high-octane offense, a strengthening defense, and now, a returning weapon with a chip on his shoulder. This team is about to find out what happens when potential meets opportunity, and the rest of the league better be ready, because Isaiah Likely is coming back, and the Ravens are about to turn up the heat. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like this video and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our next report. There's a video on your screen right now with everything you need to know about the Ravens wide receiver room. Click it, and I'll see you over there.